You're watching the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Salah to settle it in front of the Kop.
Yes, welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand, even if that stand is playing in the Europa League next season. Make sure you smash that like button, comment with your thoughts leading into the Southampton game. I also want your thoughts on what Klopp has been saying in this morning's press conference as well. And of course, subscribe. If you're going to do anything at the end of this season, make sure you subscribe to the Kop TV. Some great content still to come in the pre-season from us guys here as well. Let's get into the Southampton game, then we can break down what Jurgen Klopp has been saying in the press conference this morning. Couple of stats for you to start us off. Liverpool have won their last 3 Premier League away games. Who would have thought that, considering the poor away performances earlier on in the season? As many as they had done on the first 15, where we drew 4 and lost 8. They've scored 11 goals in these 3 victories, as many as the previous 13 Premier League away games. Southampton are winless in the last 12 Premier League games, drawing 3, losing 9. Only twice in the league history have they gone on a longer run without a win, and that was in 1989. That one. The team finishing bottom of the table has won their final Premier League game in just one of the last 20 campaigns. That was Sheffield United. And as we know, Liverpool have won their final league game in each of the last 6 seasons. We tend to finish well, guys. Since a 1-1 draw at West Brom in 2016, the last such defeat was a 6-1 hammering at Stoke in 2015. As we know, Gerrard's last game for Liverpool. Key though here, Southampton have lost 10 of the last 11 Premier League games against Liverpool, that exception being that Nathan Redmond goal in 2021 in January. We lost 1-0. Played them already this season, as we know, 3-1 victory just before the World Cup. There was a goal from Bobby Firmino and 2 from Darwin Núñez, and it still remains, I think, his only game where he scored 2 against United as well. But he needs a hat-trick, and it looks like he is going to be fit for this one. Now, as you might have seen on the Red Men TV when I was on there last night, I said that if Chelsea did us a favour last night and took some points off United, if Fulham did us another favour and took some points off of United, you'd expect this lineup to be an absolute stormer, really. All the big names rolling out, but it isn't, and it won't be, unfortunately. How do you feel, by the way, about Europa League? Me, I've come to terms with it. I've never really said in the last 10 weeks, even with the 7 wins in a row, that we would get top 4. If you're asking me if I'm really honest, what would I prefer? Obviously, it's the Champions League. However, listen, it's the only trophy that Jurgen Klopp has not won at Liverpool. We've tried, we've failed in the past, losing in Basel to Sevilla in 2016. And I'm quite excited to not have a 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday again. Obviously, a lot of the games now are going to be Thursday to Sunday, which I'm not too mad at. But I am looking forward to it. You've got to. Jurgen Klopp as well in his press conference today said, listen, financially, it isn't the Champions League. That is a big problem. However, there is still European nights at Anfield, and there's some big teams left. In my opinion, and we said this on the Hot Topics podcast on Tuesday, my perfect group, Real Betis, Toulouse, and Ludogorets, because it means we can go and chill in Mario's in Bulgaria. So let us know how you feel. Honestly, how do you feel about ending up in the Europa League? We've seen Man United fans, Arsenal fans throwing banter at us this morning. It's mad though. Arsenal fans are throwing banter at us being in the Europa League as if they've won it a load of times. They've never won it. You know what I mean? It's not that easy to win. As we've seen, United lost last year in the final. So if Liverpool can go all the way and win it in Dublin as well, by the way, then I'm going to celebrate that. You can bet on it. Let's do a lineup prediction then. I think, knowing that this is essentially a dead rubber now, I think Kelleher's going to be in goal. I think Tsimikas, Nat Phillips, I think Joe Gomez, I think James Milner could even play at right back. This is just my personal one. Let me know what you think in the comments and give me yours. In the midfield, Artemelo. Go on then. Get a little start under your belt away from home. Try and put yourself in the window to get picked up by someone in the summer. So I'm starting with Artemelo, Fabio Carvalho, who, again, Jurgen Klopp today in his press conference has said that he will potentially be leaving on loan this season, which, again, I wouldn't necessarily agree with because I still think there's more to come from him. Curtis Jones, I'd start him. Up front, could we start a Ben Doak? Could we start a Nunez? Could we start a Salah, who is still looking to score his 20th goal of the season? That's my lineup prediction. Let me know what yours is in the comments. Let's see what Jurgen Klopp has been saying then this morning in his press conference. The first thing he spoke about was Klopp speaking on the Salah Instagram post, Twitter post that we saw last night, which is a little bit extreme, maybe. He went on to say, Salah, I'm totally devastated. There's absolutely no excuse for this. We had everything we needed to make it to next year's Champions League, and we failed. We are Liverpool, and qualifying to that competition is the bare minimum. I'm sorry, but it's too soon for an uplifting or optimistic post. We let you and ourselves down. Now, when I first saw that, I thought you're basically giving all the rival fans perfect ammunition by posting this soon after the Manchester United game last night. I don't think it was the right time. Listen, it's a winning mentality. If you're coming out straight after another result that actually had nothing to do with you, which means that you don't get Champions League, if you're tweeting about it straight away, saying how disappointed you are and there's no excuse for this, you're totally devastated. To me, that shows a winning mentality. You're not settling for a Europa League place. But a lot of our players have played in the Europa League before. You look at Alisson with Roma, Salah has even played in it with Basel, and loads more players have played in this competition. So to call it, totally devastating, I hear that, but I wouldn't describe it that. But I'm not Mo Salah. I'm not a top athlete, as you can tell. But Klopp said about that, he said, I am just worried about the headlines you create. Do me a favour and try your best. It's a fact we don't have Champions League. Even I knew after the last game clear. I drew a line underneath it. I am optimistic, but in that moment I could not see it. On our recent form, Klopp says, we've known for a long time it would not be a historic season since Dubai after the World Cup. The amount of points we've got since then was pretty good. If we could do that all season, then it would have been a good one. He also goes on to say the dressing room is not in a bad mood. We learned not to be divided or point fingers. We ended up in 5th place, not because of the last 10 games, but because of the weeks before that. And on transfer plans, and if missing out on the Champions League will affect getting players in early, he says, I don't think so, but we will see. It's always possible things don't go as you want. The better the player you want, the lesser the desire of the club to let him go. And on Darwin Nunez, he says he trained yesterday after a toe injury that kept him out of the last game. He also says Ibu was ill. Robbo felt something in his groin, and we see how we deal with that. Which again means that, in my opinion, Tsimikas will be playing at left back. I do think Nat Phillips could get some run out, being his probably last game for Liverpool as well. Does Bobby Firmino start? I mean, I've put Nunez up front, but let me know if he would start or at least come off the bench to get his final adulation from the travelling Kop. On the fact that there is actually now nothing to play for on Sunday, we've got that Europa League spot confirmed. He says, I'm not used to final match days where everything is sorted. Usually everything is at stake, but we play the game to win it with desire, and we have to see. I won't take any risks with players, which is key to understand. But we have a big group in training and we looked good. So to me, that means he's going to make absolutely massive changes for this game. I'm talking about Kelleher, Arta, maybe Tsimikas, Ben Doak, and these kind of guys. On Southampton, Klopp said that they have struggled with finishing situations off, and defending to deny teams who wants it more has a better chance to win it. I just mentioned Ben Doak there, potentially some minutes for him on Sunday, but he's talking about Stefan Bajcetic being the standout young player of the season for us. He's saying he plays like a man. The signs he gave us are super promising. Ben Doak as well, obviously nice signs when with us, a special boy, really confident, straightforward, bravery, technically good at high speed as well. Going back to what Salah said on the Champions League, and I want your opinions on this. Was he right to make that post? Was he wrong? But Klopp said, we all think like that. This is not the season that we wanted. I really think this is not a season we will talk about, and we have failed to give the people more joy. But we have given moments. The big disappointment is the Europa League, which is obviously a big one. It would have been a normal season if we finished fourth. Not great, but qualified. Sometimes you have to accept it. I've been here 7.5 years. Things are not always forward steps, and sometimes there are dips. I'm good, I'm here this long, but you have to reinvent yourselves, right? And on Fabio Carvalho, he mentions that he thinks there is a strong possibility that Fabio Carvalho could go on loan, but we will see. No player, and this is interesting, this is almost like the kiss of death for me. He says, and I quote, "No player has impressed me more than Fabio. That's the truth. His work ethic will give him a fantastic career." That to me says not a career at Liverpool. His reactions in a row to not playing I've never seen before. There is no plans for loans. We want to keep them if we can, give them the opportunity to play. He also says Connor Bradley is coming back. He was in the building yesterday. We have big hopes for him. So does that tell you that we're not going to buy a right back, people? Does that tell you that Trent goes to midfield and Connor Bradley slips in at right back next season? Let me know what you read into those Klopp comments. Let's talk about him mentioning his former club Borussia Dortmund potentially becoming Bundesliga champions. He says, "I hope Dortmund will win. I know a lot of people very well there, and we are in contact to know what it'd mean to the city. It's not fun. The same team always becoming champion." Maybe a little shot there at Man City. It looks like Dortmund could do it. It's a big one. I just hope they can get through it as well. And that rounded off what he said in the press conference. But some other news that came out this morning from Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Real Madrid are looking to confirm the signing of Jude Bellingham for around 100 million euros up front, which actually translates out to be 88 million euros. Don't forget, Liverpool bid 87 million euros. So are you telling me, let me just get this right, are Liverpool telling me that we can afford 1 more million to confirm that deal? Because that looks like that's what Real Madrid have done with Bellingham. So for me, if we are led to believe that we're only 1 million short, then that is an absolute disgrace. It is an absolute disgrace if we could not pluck out 1 more million to make that deal come over the line. We knew that Jude Bellingham wanted to come. We knew that. And for some reason, somehow, it seems that Real Madrid are going to buy him for £1 million more than we were prepared to pay. And we ruled ourselves out of the race before it even began, really. So let me know what your reaction is to that. For me, that's unacceptable. That doesn't show how big a club you are. That is a Europa League mentality, you know, kind of ducking out of the challenge and making sure that you're not in the race before it's even begun. I can't get my head around that one. So let me know what you think in the comments. Can we or can we not afford Jude Bellingham, as it looks like he's finally going to be going to Real Madrid again? Right, so a lineup prediction. I've done a couple of stats before the game at St Mary's. Let's get into the score prediction. 3-1 Liverpool. I'd love to see a few goals from the younger lads. I'd love to see Darwin Núñez finishing off the season with a goal. There's so many stories here. I'd love to see Bobby get a goal. I'd love to see James Milner score a penalty. Does the Ox come on and play against his former team? I can't see Naby Keita getting anywhere near the squad, but a lot of decisions to make for Klopp here. Does he look at wholesale changes, or does he want to keep the formation and the system ready to go into next season in a Premier League game where there isn't too much on it? So let me know how you think he plays this one in the comments. Obviously, we've rounded up what he said about Fabio Carvalho. We've spoken about Jude Bellingham and Artur Melo. Does he finally get some minutes for Liverpool? Let us know. We will be having a season review next week. It will be Rory and Mario on the Hot Topics podcast. Looking forward to watching that. And of course, we'll have an instant match reaction for you from myself and Doyle on Sunday after the game. But I think there's a lot to talk about in the weeks coming up. We're going to really dissect this season and work out where it all went wrong, at which point in the season did it all fall down in terms of challenging for the title, going out of the Cups, being out of the Champions League as well. We'll really dissect it for you because it needs to be done. And how many videos on transfers are we going to be doing in the summer? I hope it is a lot, because I hope there is a lot of business to be done as well. So guys, make sure you smash this like button. This is the final match preview of the season for you on the Kop TV. What a season it's been. It hasn't been the greatest season ever for Liverpool, but for me personally, definitely my most busy football season, having been to the World Cup. Looking forward to what's to come in the summer as well for Liverpool and myself. And we go again, guys. We go again. But we're in the Europa League. We've got to deal with it. But we've got to get this match out the way first. So, guys, make sure you smash that like button. Comment with your thoughts, your lineups, your score predictions as well. And make sure you subscribe to the Kop TV if you haven't already. I'm off to play football with Doyle, funnily enough. And, yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Take care. All the best. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
Please, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Kop TV.
The voice of football's most famous stand.